The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
Can we get much higher? So high.
It's a great day here at Kek Cast. I am your host, the KEKFILA, and today I have a great episode, January 11th, I think Thursday night, pre-Friday. And today I have with me Wraith. How you doing today, Wraith?
Yep. What's up, everybody? Back for another great episode. Today we have the go, so it's gonna be a good one.
Good. Great. And we have Batsu. How are you doing today, Batsu?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Little medical scare this morning, but other than that, everything is going great.
Yeah,
so
great. I'm glad everything's going great. And Batsu, I actually don't know what is your first name?
Cameron.
Cameron. Is that with a C or a K?
C. Yeah.
C. Okay, so something good.
I gotta spell it every time.
I live in Utah, and so everyone's name is spelled weird. Okay,
Yep.
So,
I know that.
So you're like in Idaho, so it's like it's like the same thing. You see a lot of Mormons that have like a extremely weird name.
Oh
so.
yeah. You gotta make it unique.
Yeah, you used to live in Salt Lake, right? The kind of you said West Valley area. I live near West Valley, so it's so not even that
I was in
far
West Valley
from this
for
pond.
3 years. Till just a couple years ago.
Yeah. You think Idaho's like kind of your permanent residence for now?
Yeah, it's where my wife's family is. So.
Oh, okay. Just makes it.
And we did just buy a house 4 months ago. So
wow! Congratulations,
permanent residence. Yep, thank you.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, we got
super goals.
Yeah. We got so my brother-in-law, wife's brother, is kind of like taking a couple rooms in the basement, right? He's like on a third of the loan, and then he's a veteran, so we got the VA loan interest rate, so it was like actually affordable. And
wow,
we had just been renting an apartment, and it went up like $500 a month in 2 years, and we're like, it's literally going to be the same price to just buy a house.
I know this isn't like a finance podcast, okay, but is this like a fixed rate, or is this like a
fixed rate? Oh, for sure, fixed rate.
Okay, I was gonna ask that because I work for a bank.
I'm a fixed rate guy. Yeah.
I work for a bank, and like variable rates are fine until like last year got really, really bad.
Yep.
Right?
Variable rates are fine until they aren't.
And then everyone started calling me like, what do I do? And they're like, fixed rate. That's what I would suggest. So
listen, variable prices are fine on your One Piece cards. They're not so fine on your monthly payments.
Yeah,
that
would be interesting. A fixed rate for One Piece card. Do you think I've played card games where like, oh yeah, that's never going up, but that's something we can definitely judge into, especially with kind of a collector market. I think every One Piece player becomes somewhat of a collector at this point, just because of how, the cards are actually really pretty. Like, and on top of that, they now almost have sentimental value and a plethora of other things, but also just the fact that it's worth so much almost adds to the rarity of it, that you really want to encapsulate that as a collection, because I could just put $3,000 right here on my wall, just a bunch of ones, right? But how much better would it be to just put in like maybe be one Luffy, right? This one.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the value adds just like that extra, like, okay, I'm a collector now. It's like if you're on the fence, like just knowing how much the cards are worth, you're like, you know what, it's gonna go up even more. Because One Piece is popping right now, so it's like there's no drawbacks to collecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go too much into that, I want to get to know Batsu a bit more, so everyone can get to know him.
Sure.
And I guess Batsu, let's get to know you a little bit more before One Piece. What was Cameron before One Piece card game?
Before One Piece card game, I don't know. I guess this kind of goes into history of the sim a little bit.
Sure.
I haven't played any card games competitively before One Piece. I was a little bit of a collector. I remember like first grade, went to a friend's house and bought him one Pokemon booster pack, and he pulls the first edition Charizard out of it, and I'm like, damn, should have been me.
Kidding.
I would still, that's a core memory. But I started actually getting into the Fire Emblem card game back in Utah. And I remember it's Japanese only, so I wasn't expecting to like find anyone to play with or anything. But I joined the main Discord for it, and like the very first message I saw was like, "Yeah, we're playing in Salt Lake tonight" or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" So there's players near me. And so the first card simulator that I made was a simulator to play the first 2 starter decks of the Fire Emblem card game against an AI and against other people. And so shortly after I bought every single set of that, 1 box of each set, they canceled it because Fire Emblem Heroes had come out, and they're like, well, the card game was our like holdover between games. It's our way to like keep people into the series. And now we have this sweet mobile game that makes us tons of money, so we don't need the card game anymore. And so I sort of like, stopped work on the sim, and I'm like, all right, shit, I'm just going to sit here and wait until there's a new card game coming out that I'm interested in. And of course, One Piece, comes out, and this is like at the time that I've caught up on the manga, right? Like literally like the week after I catch up on the manga, they announced the card game, and I'm like, okay. This is it.
Crazy timing.
So that's the thing. So you're saying the Fire Emblem card game has a lot of connections with this. Did you kind of, that was kind of like your run, like that was the beta test of how to do One Piece card game? That is so wild. And then it just was right timing and everything, right? Because I've seen simulators for other games, like Cardfight Vanguard, and it was really, I don't know if you've seen that or like years ago and how that worked. It was basically like Tabletop Simulator. That's how I would kind of compare it to.
Is that weird?
Yeah, because you actually had to like left click, right click, do weird things to it, right? But generally it wasn't really, wasn't really all like things didn't do things automatically. I didn't place a card and a skill happens. But the sim does that, and it's kind of like, oh, how does it know how to do that? It's just a piece of paper in front of me, it's just a picture in front of me, but you actually made it do things, which obviously most of us have no idea how that would even start. But you don't have to go into unless you want to, the genetics of setting up anything. But I see.
Well,
I know
I'll give you the high level if you want. Sure. So like a card action right now, I think there's a better way to do it. Yeah, so a card action in the game is basically just 2 parts. It's a trigger and an effect. So the trigger is something like pay 3 on attack, and then if all of those requirements are met, it just goes to the effect. And so I think at some point I need to break that down into multiple triggers, right? Multiple costs, because like right now, if you play Nami, you want to play an event but not actually do the event, that sort of stuff. And right now it's all or nothing, the triggers played.
Yeah, like for example, like if you take a damage trigger like 3,000 worlds, but there's nothing to remove on the field, right? You can't just whiff it on purpose in the sim, which is, I guess it's more of a limiting factor, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it expects you to do the effect, and it prevents you from accidentally, doing the effect without a valid target on the field. But yeah, so that's one thing that does need a big rework for like every action in the game. So it might take a little while. But that's kind of, I can share a screenshot with you later or something of like how the actual data looks. But yeah, it's just a whole bunch of like action trigger is, you choose like activate main, on attack, pay Dawn, minus Dawn, whatever, and then action effect is KO something, cost or less, cost or more, etc.
I guess what I'd like to get into is from and I guess I haven't introduced this. Batsu has made this, I don't know what he wants to call it. I'll call it
fan project.
Awesome fan passion project where we all can play this card game on a simulator where we don't have to have the actual cards, which is really good. This has made the game very accessible. If you guys are on this, you probably have heard of Batsu or have played the sim at some point. So I would like to know 2 things, and I'll put the things in the timestamps if you guys find one thing boring. We'll go over kind of the lifespan of the sim when that first started and kind of where it is now. And then also at some point, we're going to go into your adventure with actually playing One Piece. That's all completely separate, and how I kind of got in contact with you and, through Will. So, which was also kind of interesting. So, with that, you find out the One Piece card game's coming out, obviously Japanese, probably going to get it in English. where did it go from there?
I don't know if I really remember most of that timeline, but it's like, when I heard it was coming out, I was like, cool. I know for sure I'm going to play this game. I guess, we can wrap it a little bit into my journey. I called, I think, 6 or 7 card stores around here, right? Like back when you needed to register for the super pre-release and nobody had even heard about it. And all of them told me no. I told all of them, I'll get 6 people to show up at your store and buy out all the product. Just give me this damn event. And they all told me no, that they won't do it. They won't work with Bandai. They hate, like, Bandai's hard to work with, blah, blah, blah. And I found out, fortunately, later, like when events were registering, one of them did, in fact, sign up. So I got my super pre-release event. Literally, the one store within 3 hours of me still carries One Piece. So that's been the store we go to and we play at with. It's up to we get 10, 12 people now every week, which is pretty good. It for all of set 1, it was me by myself sitting there, and once a month or so, someone else would come in wanting to learn it, and I had starter decks ready for them. And I've slowly grown the community. But yeah, so even when it first got announced, I was like, what, I have this sim already. We might not be able to even play it here for a year or so. I just want to get this thing going. I
did have a question
on it early.
I guess you're still are you still trying to build that community right now? I don't know. Just to give people an idea, maybe there's someone listening that is around.
Yeah.
That would
so
love
if
to
you're in
join
Idaho Falls, Roundtable Games is where we are currently playing.
Do you have a Discord for that, like a little community where they can talk to? Like I can put it in the description.
Here. Let's do
after this podcast, guys.
Afterwards.
Look in the description. Yes. We have an Idaho Falls Discord. If you want to play some One Piece, right? Yes, that's a good place to go. Another growing community, I'm sure. Actually, getting a community growing is really hard, and maybe that's another whole video, another whole podcast into going into the thing, because I've grown one in Utah, but go ahead on with your story. You said I don't know where you left off actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's as far as the sim goes, that's just kind of always been a thing, right? Like I found out about the game, just started working on the sim, and I don't even remember. It was like Moonmen TCG. I don't even know if they still play or stream at all, but there was someone I just saw them on Twitch, trying to find out about the game, and I was like, dude, download this thing, totally sus file, and try connecting to me with my IP address. Here you go, bro. And we went from there. So yeah, sim originally was IP address to IP address. You had to know the IP of the person you're connecting to. And then I kind of spoofed it, right? I made a thing that would just scramble your IP into random One Piece character names, so that you could just give that to people and they don't know your exact IP address. And then there were still so many people that have router issues or modem issues where they can't directly connect. So now it runs through Unity Relay, which kind of does all the interconnections for you and gives you the nice little 6-digit lobbies and stuff. So. I think next step is probably trying to move it to a server, but we just in the last month here have gotten a couple of nice ranked servers that do a bit of that for us. So it's not as urgent to get that going.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge rework. Just for context, right now, your client connects to another person's client and they just send messages directly. And if we want to do a server, then that's basically rewriting every single piece of network code, which is, half the code.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's just, Sim 2, right?
Right, exactly.
So whatever that is, which I mean, that's the next step, I suppose. I don't know if that's 2025 in the making or
exactly.
Obviously that's going to involve a lot of passion. And so that's where does that passion come from, right? Passion. So passion doesn't exactly, pay the house bills. So we need something, right, for that. So sometimes it does. Yep. It might this time. So okay, yeah. Especially with these ranked servers, I'm sure. I don't know if you've done any ranked games, but so many ranked games go amiss. Or what just happened? Why is there a random card on the screen now? And it's okay, well, I'm just gonna dissolve the game because that couldn't have fixed it, right? But no one really ever gives issue. But it's well, dude, what if we just everyone who does that just pays $1 every single time, and then all of a sudden we have a server.
We do have. I just checked. We hit 75,000 monthly users as of like yesterday.
Yeah,
so,
I think
Wow,
I'm
that's
sure.
very
not
impressive.
a lot.
Since the rank servers, have you noticed an actual just a jump like an increase? Is that or at least activity? Does that show anything for you?
It's hard to look up.
Or at
I
least
can try and look at that
the
data.
20B downloads. Maybe that's a way to look at it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can look by month here. Let's see, billing cycle. Let's see. Yeah, because in December ended with 70,000. So it's gone up 5,000 already.
Well,
this
yeah,
month.
in January, yeah, there was a January 5th. That's when like another one came up, and so that one's a really popular. But when you think about it, now Discord has 2,000 people. How many people are really playing the sim? Probably, I don't know, 1,500 people. Like at a time.
If you're in a ranked sim, I think you're already playing, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't sim as much as most people, so
I'm just like, there's no reason to join a ranked Discord if you're not already playing on the sim, right?
No, but that's impressive. 75,000. That's huge. Like,
Yeah.
That's really
definitely-
big.
That's a lot of players.
That's a lot. I mean, I know people, like personal friends, are like, dude, I learned to play the game from the sim. They're like really new to the game, and I'm like, oh, I know that guy. So, it's just
always fun when someone new shows up at locals, and I'm like, sometimes, if I know they're coming back, I don't say anything the first week, right? But you gotta drop the power.
It's hard,
level
dude. It's hard being humble, dude, when you're just Batsu, bro. It's just
I'm that guy, because we had people, especially like in this Idaho area, we had people from Montana for our last like pre-release or whatever, pre-release. And I'm like, I'm probably never seeing you again. I gotta drop it first week, man.
Oh, no.
In finals. Oh, by the way, it says Batsu up there. That I'm actually the Batsu.
Are you the Batsu? Are you
the Batsu?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think you should have like a tag or like a special shirt. Maybe a Hawaiian shirt for nationals.
Me up for Nats, right?
Yeah, I think so. I still need to actually get. I need to get a will to win shirt. We're gonna do Hawaiian shirts, but I'm like, God, is that kind of hard for people? Like, but I think it might be worth it. I'll talk to Will.
Yeah.
I've been really bad with it, honestly. Nationals is only a few weeks away. There's like, I get these on Express. I can't even get them mailed anymore. I probably just need to go to a place and see what they got, right? What they can do.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, with that too, I guess Sim's at where it is now. The future of the sim, maybe a server, right? Things like that. If you haven't already, we'll plug at the end of the podcast, where you can find more of his stuff and way to support the sim and Batsu. But with that, with your One Piece journey, where have you what is actually playing One Piece? What has that been for you? What has your experience been playing One Piece? You can start, super pre-release to now.
Sure. Yeah. So we did have a super pre-release. Every pre-release I get to bring my wife and my brother-in-law. Those are the only events they play. They come to open cards, right? And then play pretty casually in the pre-releases. But won my super pre-release literally with like exact counter in hand, every card discarded, from a Kaido, trash alive, swing super big, and I have the exact counter in hand. So I have my super pre-release Luffy, and then
you still have that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Well, I'm kind of nostalgic with them, right? Like I'm probably not going to sell like my event cards, like my the spoilers ahead of time. The Borsalino from my qualifying event. That's in my deck right now, right?
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, I was registered for what were they called? Like the starter deck battles, deck limited battle.
Yeah.
Online.
Those
I got registered into one of those. Yeah. But I got COVID that week, so missed that event.
I do want to stay for those, and a lot of people have played One Piece. They don't know what those were like back then. I played in those, and it was really nuts because purple was actually really, really strong. People like the meta. No one knew how to do anything, by the way. It was so people were like messing up. People forgot to put their life out, those sort of things. Yep. And like playing those early tournaments was nuts because it was actually super hard to get a pre-release deck. And most people only had one. They did not have
That's
two. So if you face someone who only had one, they're probably losing if you had two. Like, and it was really nuts. I would be like, oh, you don't have 4 queens? You don't have you don't have 4 Doflamingos, bro? like because there's a lot of bad
That's the reason
cards.
that my I don't have any
cards.
sealed green or blue decks, right? Because I opened my wife's green and blue
you had
decks.
to open it to play the game. I had my brother mailing his friends so they can play, like, and then they never played, so they just mailed it back to him. Now he's like, well, shit, I have like $340 like of a Luffy here. So so
yeah, I've got 2 sealed red super pre-release and 1 sealed purple. So yeah, because I was trying to decide between green and blue, so I was we opened all those, and my wife and I were battling.
What did you play?
So I was going to play green. One of my super pre-release was green.
Yeah, but you saw how strong blue is against green, right? So
yeah. I was considering blue, and then got COVID and didn't get to play it, but that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I think
past super pre-release battles or deck limited battles.
Yeah. No. So I've played 3 online regionals. My first one was OPO2 Kinemon. Made top 64 with that, and that was back when top 64 got you a gold Dawn. So there was like no extra prizing for top 64, which sucked. And then I played. Oh, I was gonna play another OPO2. I played like the first 3 matches. My wife was feeling sick. I dropped out with like 2-1 or something. And then set 3 came around, and I didn't have time. Like I was so the same as like a full-time job on top of my other full-time job, right? Like I just don't have that much time to play. Like Saturday for 3 hours, that's my One Piece card game playing right at locals. And so like set 3 came around, and I really didn't know what to play in set 3, because it was pretty much like Whitebeard, Zoro, and like maybe
you'd see like a cringe Doflamingo.
A variation of red, yeah. So I just like picked a cookie cutter Zoro build that everyone else was playing, and I'm like, I'm 3 sets behind on red. Like I haven't played red this whole time, and I went like 5-4 or something, like didn't even top 128. And so that's when I was like, okay, I got one more event a week from now, and I want to do better than, I want to get into top 128. So I reached out to some coaches, a will to win team, as it were, and they got me in on the Kuro Spice. This was like, was this?
It was OPO
hit, right?
It was OPO3. This is what happened. The ban list came out, and we're like, dude, no one can play Whitebeard now, even though like obviously Whitebeard was actually got better, right? But no one knew that that week. That was the week. So we thought everyone was going to do loss. Like, okay, what can we do to like shut down all the loss? And that was Kuro. That was like the dumb spot. It's looking back, it was kind of dumb, but it was what?
I don't know. Like looking back at the 2 games I lost. Okay, so I went. That was also the event that you originally registered as a 500 person event, and then they bumped it up to 1,000 later. And I was like, oh, I didn't sign up for a 10-hour event, right? Like I got things to do. But I went 8-2. I placed 34th because my very first round I lost to another guy who went 8-2 eventually, right? And he was Whitebeard. And Whitebeard was like the one matchup I hadn't practiced against at all. Like I was playing Sim all week and never saw Whitebeard, right? And then looking back on my 2 losses to Whitebeard, I had lethal in one, and the other one I had like a bad. Well, it was he got 3 5-cost Marcos back to back, and after the first 2, I was like, okay, I've got a safe turn. He just played 2 5-cost Marcos. I can drop like a little blocker and something, and then he 5-cost Marcos my blocker. And Pearl. I was like, okay, 3 in a row. Like it's fine. It is what it is. And that was my very first game of the day. But I still actually think in that weird band format, I think Kuro actually is pretty competitive. Like I think he can swing enough against Whitebeard and tap down the blockers. I think
definitely the unknown factor plays into Kuro that set that was going on, because people were doing well with Kuro after, but for some reason people just actually knew what to do against it, which I don't even know what that was. Just give
I'm not sure.
Respect or all respect to their 7
cost. It's a hard deck.
Yeah,
because like I got the deck list, and like I went like freaking like 3-19 at first, right? Until I learned the deck, and then I was like 26 wins in a row.
What went right? Like what changed?
I
Because
think
I don't really know.
I think I was focused. So I originally thought it was a control deck, and you wanted to like focus board because everything you have like taps things, but it's an aggro deck, right? You can win in 5 turns because you just tap their blockers, right? Like you tap everything, and that just means that their leader is always available for hit swinging at.
Yeah,
and it's like you're dropping Django, who's like a 5 cost 6K, and he makes your leader swing again, and so you're just like doing kid stuff. Yeah.
That was the interesting thing about that deck. A lot of time you didn't even use your leader skill. You just had
never
Django and Krieg, maybe, right? It just kind of depends.
Yeah, so the cool thing about it, like I think it's like a super complicated deck because your leader skill, you can threaten the leader skill without ever using it, right? Like if you just swing with your leader and they have a blocker up, they need to block that swing. Otherwise you spend 3 to tap their blocker and he's useless, right? Like like when you're going for lethal. So you can, like the second game I lost to Whitebeard, I had lethal because foolishly I put a bunch of Dawn on my leader, swung, he blocked that, then I untapped my leader and swung. But what I could have done is put 1 Dawn on my leader, swing, see if I can get some counter out of hand, force him to use the blocker on that little 6K swing. If he doesn't use the blocker, then I can tap it and go big. If he does use the blocker, then I can put all my Dawn on something else on the board.
Yes, that would have been a big brain play. It was pretty interesting. Will played Crow the same event, and I think also went 8-2.
But he got his losses later.
Yeah, he got his losses later. You still got your national invite because invites passed down right at the time. So that was pre anyone can get invited to nationals, but I wonder how many people technically got an invite. Like if you really looked at that,
you can look, right?
Yeah, but like how many people are getting a buy? Like is half the freaking tournament a buy? Like
it's probably no more than 500, honestly.
That's a lot of people when you think about it.
It is a lot.
That's a lot of people because the first 2 rounds everyone's gonna be like, well, where is everybody? They're all have a buy.
Honestly, but like people that have the buy are definitely the minority. I feel like there's a lot more people that are participating that have to play round 1. Because I mean, I don't think Bandai said the exact number, but it's going. I think personally, I believe it's gonna be over 2,000 people.
Yeah, it's gonna be 25. Do you think it's gonna be capped? Like, do you think like I think it's just too big of a venue that and 2,500 people is kind of hard to get into one place. For some reason, even though it's Worlds, right? People, I could see some of them being like, okay, guys, we have more room for people. Come on. Honestly, the thing is, people aren't willing to risk that much money for traveling to have a chance to get in, right? So it kind of sucks. It's kind of unfortunate because I know people that signed up for it and they're not even gonna go. They go, oh, I got in, but they can't go because it's like, well, it costs too much to go there for a tournament. So. It's kind of bizarre, but and plus the signups, we can go into that too. Their signups are so that Bandai app is the
one of my friends didn't get
worst.
in, and I'm like, he was there for an hour just refreshing on 3 different devices.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think that I need to ask Core. I don't know if they're using RK9 or if they're going to be using the Bandai app. They want to use the Bandai app, but they wanted to test it in last Pasadena. Did you go to the last Pasadena that was in December, Wraith? I didn't go.
Yes, Wraith, yeah.
No, I did not. I had a buddy that went, but I wasn't able to make it.
Okay. I wonder if they were still testing that, oh, we're going to use RK9 for nationals, because that's what they were trying to do for the double Jozu tournaments. They wanted to test, the stress levels. And I'm like, what do you mean? They've tested the stress levels with like over 1,000 people before for a tournament. So I don't know. Like RK9 is just good. They don't mess up, right? It never messes up, especially the signups. The signups are really nice. So might just be the future. Just RK9 is the future. I guess it's Pokemon. That's why Bandai doesn't like it, right? Because it's Pokemon. But
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I'm like, what does like Magic and Pokemon use? Do you guys know?
I have no idea what Magic does. I have no idea.
I'm not sure. Pokemon does definitely favor RK9 though.
And then there's worst coast pairings, and I used best coast pairings a long time ago. I had to download it from like a weird Vanguard tournament for PPG in Las Vegas. Right, you just had like a small tournament there, and it was like, oh, this is really cool. This is the future of pairings. I even thought that, and then like I did it for One Piece. And I'm like, oh god, we are still using best coast pairings. Like I was like, they don't have anything better. Like this is like we're still using this. So I don't know how I switched it up so fast on best coast pairings. I think maybe the pirate triggers me on there or something. I have no idea.
Like,
let me know in the
Piece
comments,
ripoff,
guys, in the comments of this YouTube video. What do you like? Do you like RK9? Do you like BCP? Do you like, I don't know. What else does anyone else use? Is there a third one? I guess.
I think that's all that's been in the events I've done.
No one's gonna use challenge at this for a big tournament, right? Maybe for like your store tournaments that have like 200 people or less. But I
think I used that for Smash Brothers tournaments back in the day.
If you guys have ever used challenge before, you can understand that sometimes it can be, not perfect, right? But at least they don't advertise. It advertises just being free for you to use. So I don't know. It's something to think about.
Yeah, but Batsu, I do have a question for you. Going back to, first of all, that Kuro Run was very impressive. Very impressive. I remember seeing, once the tops came out, I'm like, oh, there's 2 Kuros. Like it was impressive. I was honestly thoroughly impressed. So, shout outs to you for that run. And then, what are you playing in OPO5? I'm assuming you're going to nationals.
Yep.
What deck have you been playing? What are you practicing? What's let me know.
Running the traditional Sakazuki, right?
Okay.
You gotta go with the best. And I like the Sakazuki play style, right? Like I was actually eyeing him before he was best deck in format, like because for some context, I qualified with Kuro. And then I was like, I made a deal with the wife. I'm like, okay, no more events, no more all day things where you got to watch the kid because she's disabled. So it's like a whole thing, right? Like I got to get the grandparents over to watch the kid or something. So I'm like, okay, no more events. Let me go to nationals. And she's like, yep, deal. And so like from then on, I was like, I don't care about OPO4. I'm literally going ahead and looking at what Japan's doing for OPO5. So I remember looking at matchup charts and being like, Sakazuki, like it's only bad matchups at the time. I think it was what Enel and like Zoro or something was considered like the reason you couldn't play it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can learn those matchups. Enel's a weird deck, and like Sakazuki's my style. And then it became best deck in format. And I'm like, sure, I'll stick with it. Like at one point I was like, no, I gotta pick Kid or something. I gotta pick something that like is weird and like beats Sakazuki and also does good into yellow, right? But I'm like, no, you know what? I'm here to win. I'm gonna try and do really well. So I'm gonna go with Sakazuki.
Good. There is a subset of players, and I feel like I'm almost like that way too, where I have to choose whatever's not popular. Well, that's weird. I kind of picked it because it was blue. My brother, because I played blue for trial decks, right? And then I quit it and then came back because I felt like it actually was good. But I'm sure a lot of people have out there like play the different deck just because. And I think Sakazuki was the different deck until it got good. And now everyone's like, oh, right. Now I can't play that. But honestly, I'm probably gonna be playing it now. So I've already kind of like Queen's now my pet deck. So yeah. I mean
it's a blue combo deck, right? Yeah. Like
Wraith, what's your roller coaster been like? Combo. Last week you were like, oh, pro now. Are you like looking at Katakuri now?
No. I'm sticking to a no. I mean, I've been on a no probably like 2 weeks since before release. And I was like, at one point, I'm like, okay, I have to practice Sakazuki now because it's the best deck. I have to practice it, but I just never got around to practicing it, and so now I'm kind of just stuck. Like I know every matchup on it now. I'm good in the mirror, and then all I really have to do is just worry about missing ploofies on my rounds, and hopefully getting go second against Sakazuki. That's my game plan, So I'm gonna be on it now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how many purple Luffys are going to be as well. As good as it is against certain things.
Representation, right? Like,
yeah, I feel like it's kind of an expensive deck, but not for the reason you think it is. Like Borsalinos, they're expensive, right? But it's not like Queen, where like Queens, like that's the only problem. It's actually hard to get Queens. So
yeah, that's fair.
And I've noticed that purple Luffy's, they're finding it really difficult to face a Nell lately, right? Nell, not Nell, Sakazuki. So
Sakazuki,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, they're having a much harder time. They're just extremely Magellan reliant, and even then, they need to be double Magellan reliance essentially in order to like win the
To have a
matchup.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
it's-
my ranked games last night, played a purple Luffy against double Magellan on curve, and I still win. Like, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I just remove them eventually.
Yeah, that matchup is real rough for Purple Luffy. That's why I personally don't believe it's a deck to run for Nats. But obviously, if you just if you roll the right
yeah,
matchups, you can always have a run.
yeah, it could still do good into Sakazuki. It just has to see it, and then Sakazuki maybe bricks a little bit. I want to say that sometimes I feel like I don't know if you've played enough Sakazuki. Sometimes even if you're using your skill, you're still drawing no counter. Because there is a lot of cards in the deck that have no counter, but at least you have your leader skill to be like, well.
I feel like out of all the decks I've played, Sakazuki has the least counter. Like even though you're running,
honestly,
2Ks,
I've been playing it a bit. I'm just trying to think, dude. Imagine playing a leader that can't discard a card every turn. Like I was like, wow, this it kind of bends the game a little
you
too
need
much.
your trash to use abilities too in that deck. Like it's broken.
It kind of bends the game a little too much. Like the more I think about it, like. How luck reliant I am on certain decks, and the thing is, people are still going to be facing into a Nels. I'm like, okay, when I face a Nell, I'm going to expect 5 triggers out of their life. That's because that's probably that's how winner Nels like do it, right? They just they hit everything at the right time. You're like, of course, there's a Thunderbolt in there. You only run one Thunderbolt. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep, that's
so.
Oh man,
my favorite is you play against the Katakuri, you swing at them first turn, they get the Paro out, and then they drop the Ohm Holy combo, and you're like, what are you running? Like, what is this board state after 2 turns?
Yeah,
it's good times.
It makes it worse. It keeps on making it worse. Oh, I can kill him this next turn. Okay, it's actually really bad because I play Queen, right? When I put my side deck. And with that, I have to take my time and not attacking them for an extra turn because I know they're gonna just trigger like any attacker, and then I'm gonna lose, right? So, very frustrating deck to play against, especially Katakuri with that because they just get so much life. But
I think I was gonna say I think they were going to see a lot of new players at nationals, like who are like not necessarily like new, like poor skill, but like new to One Piece. Because like my locals, maybe it's just my experience, but like all of the Yu-Gi-Oh players like just switched over in set 4, right? Like we had like 6 people, now we got like 12 because there's 6 new Yu-Gi-Oh people, and some of them are like pros or semi-pros.
A lot of new people in my locals as well, right? A lot of new people, and we don't run. We can jump into this here in a second about communities. Like I made a community, and all of a sudden there's 50 people in this event, and I'm like, I don't even know half these people. Like I made this where did all these people come from?
You're like, I'm the guy here.
Well, I don't tell them that. I have to introduce myself just as Sage. It's some Discord mod. That's what I tell everybody. But it's just, it's gotten so big. Have you felt the same thing, Wraith? That your locals are a lot of new players?
Yeah, definitely. For us, it just started with it was literally 4 of us. It was me, my brother, and then 2 of my friends. It would just literally just be us every time, and then slowly, people started showing up. And then come to find out, probably like 20 minutes away from me, there's another local that I didn't know about, which has now we're getting up to like 32, 36 players. So for the longest, it was just like, a small group of 10 here in my city. And then, I was like, let me try to figure out if there's any other players. And then, of course, Chewy, he got second at Pasadena on Green Kid. He's nice. Local to me, and so now I see him every Sunday at my locals. And so my small community grew definitely, probably doubled in size, and then I found an even bigger one that was already developing with even better players. So honestly, it's been good. I mean, One Piece has in my opinion, what it takes to just take down one of the top 3 card games. Like the gameplay's so good, the cards are good, and the community is getting there. So I'm enjoying it so far. It's fun.
Now Batsu brought up.
You saw that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you saw that YouTube video I put out kind of as a joke, right? Of the TCG player ranks. Like One Piece has been above Yu-Gi-Oh like every month since it came out.
I saw that. I saw
Like
that.
it's doing pretty
What do you,
good.
how do you know? Like, what is that? How do you know it's above?
So it's kind of a joke because it's like One Piece has one product, right? Like at the
Yeah.
top is like the most sold thing on TCG Player, and
Oh.
then there's like 4 Yu-Gi-Oh products underneath it.
Oh,
There's
okay.
like ICV2 articles, but like this last month, I think One Piece had like 6 products on there, and they were like second place, fourth place, etc. And
Is
Yu-Gi-Oh has
there-
like 2
Is
products
there a
down in
ranking on
20. Like
TCG Player showing you like the? what
it's
things
like
are
a
selling
business
for?
article.
Oh,
I
okay.
can link it to you.
Yeah, I'd love
it's
that.
like a summary of the top 25 card game products.
Oh, okay. God, I didn't know
It's
that.
really good.
I mean, obviously, well, actually, let's transition just into a little bit of a market kind of a thing. I do want to say like One Piece is. I mean, we always saw like blue bottoms. Everything's gotten expensive. Every box is expensive right now, right?
Mhm.
If you're holding on to a box, like bless your heart, bro, hold on to that until it goes up. But as you're saying, 2 boxes. There's a lot of new people. A lot of new people want to get into the game. A lot of people want to get that little crack high of opening packs. They're used to that in other card games, and there really isn't any packs to crack, right? It's not that kind of card game. They have to kind of learn to just buy singles most of the time and almost leave box opening to the investors and just like
Yep.
and it's gotten kind of nuts with that. And I do want to say like it's insane if you can find a shop that probably even sell you a case these from now on, right? Maybe like OPO5 you had some people selling you cases. From now on it might be really hard because it's so much money they can get back from it's always a loss. And if they can just hold on to that for a month, they can just resell it and make double their money. That's what a business is, right? But they want to do good for the community. Hopefully, have some cards open right away. That's even better. It's usually like the shops that have way too much money that just don't care, right? They're just going to open the packs anyway and sell the high.
Yeah.
They're the investors always, right? If they're a really smart shop. But yeah, what do you guys think about, I guess the market, the price, positive, negative, also maybe even, I want to call them invest bros jumping into like just opening boxes and reselling boxes packs.
I mean, yeah, I can go first. I'm always of the opinion that like, you should be able to buy base rarity everything super cheap. Like I don't even like the fact that there's secret rares, but like I haven't been in card games, right? This is like my first one that I've like taken seriously, right?
I agree.
So I'm just like, like secret rares, like maybe next set reprint them as an alt art SR or something.
Are
like
secret rares a thing in other card games? I don't know. Maybe someone in the
there's something
comments
like
can
it in
tell
Yu-Gi-Oh,
us.
right?
Is it just a different rarity though, or is it? I don't know. It's kind of
Not
nuts.
sure.
I understand like promos being expensive because promos have always been expensive in every card game, just because it has the word P in it, right? Promo.
Yeah.
But I don't understand like the secret rare portion of the game. Like, why isn't everything just like super rare and below? Even super rares.
Right,
rares.
right.
I'm waiting for when like a rare becomes extremely expensive, right? So,
Is Queen a rare technically?
Queen is a rare, but it's the same. It's technically the same rarity as like a Kaido or a King.
I'm joking.
Actually probably less because there's no alt art of it. It sucks, dude. There's not a lot of them out there. And same thing with all the black cards. I'm sure getting 2 black trial decks is nuts. I don't know if you guys were you
crazy.
Were you buying black trial decks back when they were first available, and you go to like a Walmart or something and you'd see like 6 on a shelf? I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to buy all of these because like this might be like a neg, right? If I can't sell these. And my brother bought like so many of them, and now he's like, oh, this is pretty good. I didn't think they would go up this high. I'm like, yeah, dude, you didn't know. So
Yeah, I mean, you go back a couple months, the market is not nowhere near where it's at right now. Before OPO5, I think OPO5, while OPO1 is definitely like it was the collector set to buy just because no more reprints. It was the very first set. It holds value because it's the very, very first set. OPO5, I think, is now the collector set just because of the chase cards. And I think the card game doing so well competitively, the cards being, the tournaments being worth entering, actually being able to profit off them just by participating. Just so many factors. And now with this new set, this new Luffy, this manga Luffy, Oda sign Luffy, just so much eyes on One Piece. It got like, I think the whales from other card games, like the big investors coming in, trying to, buy up as much product because they see how, it's trending, right? And so I personally think that's what's happening. Because everything's been getting bought out like so quickly, like just from one day to the next, like cards will double in value, triple in value, and it's pretty crazy.
Do you think it's because of the live action at all? Like honestly, like One Piece popularity? Because I think as far as like sim users go, like the month after the live action, it almost doubled. Like we got a lot of new players. When that came out.
I mean, there was a lot of people that jumped in after that, I would say. I'm trying to think, because that's when like OPO4. I mean, OPO4 wasn't out yet, right? It was September.
Right.
It was coming out, I believe, in October. So we were kind of in a weird status. OPO4 was kind of. I mean, people have like bought OPO4 and then sold it back at a loss, right? People have lost money in OPO4, even though it's up now, right? But people have lost money on OPO4, so I don't know how much the live action had to do with the popularity of the game. It probably does something. It's obviously not going to be negative, right?
It definitely helped the popularity, but I don't think just because it came out during like OPO4, like you were saying, it had an effect as much on the market because OPO4 is still the cheapest. It's like around 140. The next cheapest being I think OPO3 at like 270.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like a big difference between the cheapest and then the next cheapest.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
there's not a lot of good alts in there. Like the chase card isn't even crazy.
Yeah, the power level of OPO4 is just low. Like that's the thing.
I mean, you have like what Yamato, Tenko's Dofi. That's about
your
it, right?
secrets are Rosinante and Vivi. Like,
Oh God,
Yeah.
I have so many of those
It's
VVs,
not
dude.
great.
I'm waiting for those to
They're gonna be worth
Those are
something.
gonna spike up. Oh yeah, in a year from now, all those invest bros are come to me for those VVs.
You're
But-
gonna get a leader who can drop a 7 cost and then get their Dawn back somehow,
Oh,
and now they
God.
can do it all in the same turn. Like that's
maybe
what's happening.
dude, EBO1's gonna be popping. I think that's gonna be really big. Or
There's
with
a lot of
or with-
vanillas in it that we've seen so far. I'm not sure. I mean, Chopper's popular. If we're getting a Chopper alt, I don't
That's
know.
my
though.
favorite character, Chopper.
Yeah,
Is it
Chopper's popular.
a popper alt.
Like-
What do you mean, like just a blocker?
No, I said Chopper alt.
Chopper.
Sorry.
Chopper.
Yeah,
Chopper Altar.
What's his
Tony
what's
Chopper.
his, do we even know his skill yet?
Yeah, I think he's an SR. I don't. It
Oh,
was like
okay.
summon an animal, right? Was
Oh.
it something like that?
Red, right? Animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
something.
Animal attackers. So maybe that is like a VV thing too. I don't know. That's because that's
Yeah.
any red, I
knows?
guess, will work out. I mean, if
Right.
it's red, it's good. Obviously,
Mhm.
Immediately. So okay, got it.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean,
Yeah, 'cause with
honestly,
Vivi, then you can drop 2 bodies. with
EBO1
it.
will be big, but I feel like getting any boxes from now on, any trial decks are going to be extremely difficult for this next year, and we don't see them printing this game into oblivion. I don't have experience with how Digimon was, but Digimon isn't One Piece, right? So I don't even think it's fair even to compare the IPs.
Compare.
Yeah.
I think yeah, this is a whole new beast for Bandai. I think they're just not prepared for it, and I don't know if they're willing to invest in like a second factory to print cards, right? Like
That would be Pog.
like it would be Pog. I'm just like from a business decision standpoint, like if they do
Yeah.
that and then the sets don't sell well, like
Then they're out so much
what
money.
does Bandai do, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's kind of a thing
Yeah,
too.
that's-
It
yeah.
almost artificially inflates it just because there's low supply,
Yeah.
It's where they're not the one benefiting from that. The third party market, the
Yeah,
secondary
yeah.
market
If they
is
can
the
print
benefit.
more and it all sells, they're good to go, right? Like
Because they're not the ones selling it for like $500 a box, right? Imagine if that was the case, they'd be very motivated, probably. If that was the case,
Bandai is the only way to get your cards.
Yeah. You can't sell us from the secondary market, illegal. You have to.
I mean, they did that in Japan, right? Like you had to enter lotteries to buy like boxes off premium Bandai and stuff.
Really, I know Japan
At least when
is big on
I'm not
lotteries
sure what sets.
like that. I don't know if you've ever been to like an event before where if you get there early to get in line, it's not who shows up first. It's if you show up for a certain time, you get put in a groups to do lotteries. Then you get in line in this order, and then after that, you get a ticket, and you don't even have to be in line. They just call your number. You just show up to go buy a product. So that's
Interesting.
Yeah, it's hot, dude. It is hot. I wasn't in Bondi. It was Bushy Road for this one event, and it was so awesome. You get there early, and basically, as soon as you get your little number, you can just go do whatever you want. Go enjoy the event, and they're like, "Okay, this is being called," and you're like, "That's me." Or if let's say you missed it and you were late, you can still get in to the line to buy products because it was really big to buy that product to resell. Essentially, I think that's always been the case. Actually, I didn't look at this. The premium Bondi for nationals, I didn't buy anything.
They're like sold out, right?
I didn't buy
You
anything.
didn't buy anything?
I fucked up.
They're sold out, dude.
I messed up.
I didn't get them either.
Like as soon as
messed
they got
up.
announced, I went and I'm like, I would need this, and this.
No,
for
I
me.
had people said
Like-
they're gonna say, "I'm so disappointed, Sage. I gave you the link and everything. I did half the legwork for you. You just needed to buy it." So they're sold out on everything.
Yes,
I think so.
Everything one piece,
Yeah.
both the sleeves and the mat.
Even like Digimon stuff selling
I mean,
out.
what am I gonna do? Like miss out on a little bit of money I could sell to I'm gonna sell to my friends. Like,
No, you're missing out on getting the product at the retail price.
I'm hanging up mats on my wall, dude. Like, do I
Fair.
really need to get that? But maybe it wasn't cool enough. I guess that's why I didn't catch my eye. But
You think that's why they didn't make it a participation prize for the mat? Like, there's literally so many people that they're not going to be able to print enough.
Yeah, no, I thought they were gonna have at least enough for people participating in the actual tournament. I thought I was fine, but then in fine print on the website it says product may sell out, and we may have to cut off selling these. I'm like,
also the
Crazy.
thing is too, this tournament's free. Like, for some reason there's no entry, which I don't know why people wouldn't care. We're paying $6 a water, right? What's the
There's no stream of the tournament. I hope someone.
there's not a
records the
live
games.
There's a lot. Yeah, they're going to be recording the games and posting
Okay,
them.
all right.
I
That's
hope.
something.
I wish it'd be an awesome thing if they can record it, quickly send it to somebody, and then they upload it. So it's
YouTube,
almost like we're behind an hour every time. That would be awesome. But if we're behind, a day, the whole tournament, we don't even know. Like, the only thing I could think of was a backpack streamer, and I don't know what kind of good reception. Why is California internet so expensive? Can you tell me, Wraith? Why is it so expensive, bro?
that's just California in general for everything. Yeah,
Fair,
it's bad.
yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in California for like 3 years with my entry game programming job, and I'm literally, my savings is going down every
Yeah.
month that I live here. I gotta go.
Existing is just paying money, there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right? You pay for
Yeah, we
money
had
for
like a
things you don't even know exist.
2-bedroom, or no, I think it was a 1-bedroom, and we were paying like over $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's
Wraith, you just got to move somewhere like in the Midwest like us, there's actually places to park. There's free parking. Oh my God. Water, sometimes just $1. Like,
here's the strat:
Tempting,
live where we live, and then get an online job in California.
yeah,
the
that's
strat.
yeah.
that's hard. That's really hard too sometimes.
It's hard. Yep.
Yeah, because they can't hire outside. It's really funny. My job, I can't live in California and work. I have an online job. I can't
Mhm.
live in California and work there because of rules with hiring Californians because of pay, right?
Yeah,
So,
as someone who's looked into the taxes, Idaho's a good place. You can convince almost anybody to do Idaho. They've got to pay like $200 for the first employee
Really?
who works from Idaho, and then they're good.
oh my gosh, that's so.
It's nice and easy.
Going back to Nats real quick.
Oh,
I heard my brother was telling me this earlier that people that are going to sell product there, like boxes, have to sell it at MSRP, or if Bandai themselves is going to be selling everything at MSRP. That's what he was telling me. I'm not sure how true that is, but that's what I was hearing.
Oh my
Might
god,
be a hype event.
might
So
be
I'm
hype.
excited. I'm excited just hearing that, even if it's like just rumors right now. That's what I've been hearing. So I'm excited to see if I can get some OPO1 boxes at MSRP.
Dude,
Dude,
can you imagine?
if there's reprints there, that'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's. He was telling me that Bandai's forcing them to sell at MSRP if they want to sell.
Yeah. I mean, I guess most people just don't sell if that's the case.
Yeah, either
But-
people are
I
not
was
going
like,
to
is
sell,
that-
or
People selling singles, are they allowed to? Like,
yeah, that's what I was hearing. So I'm interested to see if that's gonna.
Selling singles is actually interesting too, right? I've always thought that's kind of strange because they just go based off of their price or TCG price. But like
Right.
at a official Bandai event, like for Bushiroad, they had vendors that sold at whatever the price was, like actually was. But this is different, huh? But what you hear? There's like a rumor.
Yeah, I didn't get too much information, but he was telling me that he was excited. He's like, I'm participating because my older brother, he's not getting into the tournament. He's just a spectator, but he can do like side events and stuff. But he's coming with us to Nats because he's excited. And then he's the one telling me, he's like, oh, they're gonna be boxes for sale that at MSRP. He's like, I saw on Twitter somewhere. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to definitely look up that and see if it's true.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I also heard from a rumor that someone asked on, because remember last podcast we talked about it. Someone asked in the judge Discord, and the judges were saying that Top Cut would be at Nationals. There would be a Top Cut, but that's all. That's one of those like they haven't announced it, but it's like on a judge Discord. You know, I'm not on this judge Discord, but it definitely might be a good idea to start jumping on there for bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever thought about being a judge? By the way, right? Yeah, me neither.
I don't have time. I got a full-time job now, and I do YouTube full-time. I'm still uploading every day. No time.
Yeah, or in Samurai could be a judge. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm a competitor. I'd rather compete.
Yeah,
test was easy. It was the exact cards you would expect them to ask you about that people get confused about. So now I'm a judge for my locals.
You're an official judge. Do they ever come to you for stuff and you're still like, I have no idea?
No, you can. You mean like at locals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a judge, but people come to me for questions. And I'm like, let's just read the card. That's basically.
I'll be honest. I have to program every single card and then test it. So it's like I know every card, right? Like it's.
Yeah, I guess it's easy
like,
for you.
But like, yeah, I'm like that Kuro Run. Like there were some players. I'm like, bro, I got 4 life left. Like, what was this game? Like, I know what your cards are.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
A community, building a community. I think that's something kind of important, right? I know that you're doing that and with things with Discords. If you guys are, I want to give a little bit of advice on that because I've somehow built a random community in Utah. I wouldn't say I built it. I'd say I just made a Discord and just told everyone to join it, right? And then I asked their friends to tell their other friends to join it. As long as you put things like, you know, hey, trade here. I have the right to, you know, remove whatever I want because I don't think it's deemed appropriate. Definitely no NSFW because you can go to other Discords for that, right? So that's
exactly.
That's fine. There's other places to be. This is a pretty family friendly game, from what I've seen. Definitely, also a lot of younger people, like little kids, are getting into One Piece now, which is honestly really good looking for the game. So it's I think that's one thing. If someone was out there and you're trying to like kind of build a community, your locals isn't really getting up there, definitely for sure make a Discord if you can. Maybe even to ask your locals if you can like post your Discord link or where they can find your Discord info at their shop and go from there. And then if you see someone playing One Piece, make sure get their number, get them in their Discord, you know, and just try to make it fun, whatever it is. And then before you know it, the whole community will essentially run itself. Like this whole community I have, I don't even do anything. They all run themselves. They all do trade between themselves. They like post like where they're going to go, whatever is shop. And I think it's very important to talk to the shop owners and make them like a little channel in your Discord and be like, hey, we have a little channel here. If you would like to join it, you can join it. And so you can post about any promotions you have or what you have, if you have anything for sale. And usually they're like, oh, that's so much easier than what anyone else did before. So, yeah, little tidbit of advice.
Little tips.
Yeah.
Yep. It's tough. It's tough when there's only one shop in 3 hours from me, man.
Yeah.
It's like we have to talk in their Discord. We've got our own, you know, just for the players, but it's like, you know, if you want to get somebody new in, it's like, you know, this is the shop you go to. And yeah, at least with like Set 5 exploding and stuff, we've got like a couple other shops nearby that are like kind of chomping a little bit, and we're trying to get them to start something up just because like, you know, more shops is better. Like
they need to. Every shop needs to get a relationship with Bandai. If they haven't yet, they need to start doing it now.
And Bandai needs to step up their onboarding, honestly. Like I heard like Flesh and Blood, like if a shop starts stocking Flesh and Blood, you get like a call from them. They get you like a video walkthrough and everything. And Bandai is like, yeah, you can try and set up events, but like I was helping my shop set up the events, right? And like you click a drop down for like what time the event starts, and you choose a time, and then like it doesn't load on the page. Like it's still got the default time until you completely submit everything. Like it's like,
oh my gosh, I know.
Just get a working website.
Yeah,
like,
I know a TO that what they do is they schedule everything for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They do tournament Thursday and Friday, and then they never do a tournament Saturday, but they leave the sign up there in case they do one, and they set it up for every single Saturday, just in case they do a Saturday tournament, which they do every few months. And so people have to find, these shop organizers have to find like a weird workaround, and it's so frustrating. So you're right. Onboarding should be easier.
Change the times on the events, right? Like I think in the Bandai app, you cannot change the time once you set it up like 2 months ahead of time.
You cannot change the time. You cannot add a note.
It's ridiculous.
It has to be, everything has to be communicated a certain way. And then on top of that, if you have other events that overlay, like they make a pre-release event, that's like a nightmare. Right? Oh, I signed up for the event. Oh, you signed up for the not the pre-release event. You signed up for the other one.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I traveled all this way. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that frustration before where they show up and they didn't they couldn't get into the pre-release.
Well, our place was like events were at 1, and they had just accidentally like months ahead of time every event started at 3 on the website.
Yeah.
And so we were always coming at 1, and then like for the pre-release, you get people showing up 2 hours late for their very first event at the shop, and like obviously you got to call the shop ahead of time, like just double check things, but like it sucks when you just lose a new player that way.
I know a lot of shops, they don't even really honor the signups anymore. They tell everybody ahead of time, hey, if you go to the shop normally, you kind of know where you are. You're already invited. There's only 8 people can get into the event. And actually, that's kind of a weird thing. I think pre-releases for the near future are going to be extremely small or just be constructed decks because there's not going to be enough product. Because I don't know if they actually send them like a kit with those packs, right? But like most shops don't have enough product to have an official pre-release if it's going to be either an 8-man or a 16-man. They would just they're just doing constructed. Half the tournaments I know did that for OPO5. I only knew of like 1 or 2 tournaments that actually did they actually had to make their ones before. Like you had to, you show up and then make it right there, which is a lot funner, I find. But most of them didn't have the product yet or don't have enough product, even though they sold cases of it.
Well, set 5 was weird. Is that just last set you're talking about?
Yeah, set 5, yes.
Because set 5, it wasn't a pre-release. Like officially, it was an anniversary event.
Yeah, but they still did.
Anniversary.
It was still first anniversary, but they still did the same rules, right? Mm-hmm. But some people didn't do those rules because they didn't have enough product. And I think if the rumor is true, there's less OPO6. It's already being short printed. It's going to be the exact same thing. It's maybe even worse. It may be actually hard to even find cards like a super rare Hody Jones for your decks being built next set. Gecko Moria, I could see that being a $30 SR off the bat if it's that rare, right? So
yeah, I was going to say I was babysitting my LGS every set, and then set 5 I'm tunneling on being super competitive, and so we're getting no set 6 at our store. There's no set 6 in Idaho at all. Like I gotta go like maybe drive down to Utah to get some set 6.
You might just need someone to sell you singles and send it to you. If I find enough, I can get you some. I can mail those.
Yeah, I pre-ordered 1 box for 150, and that's going to be my set 6 experience.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yep.
And the crazy thing about that too,
over 200 on TCGplayer right now.
If you just keep that sealed, it's just going to go up. They may not even honor that too. They may not even honor that like that pre-order because they don't have enough allocation. It's absolutely crazy, and especially to TCGplayer. I assume, by the way, half the time if you buy a card that was really cheap that went up in value, they're going to tell you that, hey, sorry, man. Imagine if you buy right before the spike went up. They might tell you they ran out of, allocation. And sorry about that. They've done that. They did that when leaders spiked a few months ago, I believe. Right? I know people that had that same issue. I think the ban list happened. Right? People bought stuff right before the ban list, and then the unban list. Right? So, so cards went back up in value, and people had that issue. Now, it's always a problem. And then I don't know do you ever sell anything on TCG, either of you at all?
I've sold 1 Lorcana card for over $200 because I got it from the starter deck I bought.
Mhm.
So
And then Wraith?
that's my experience with selling on TCG Player.
Yeah. I actually have a small business.
Mhm.
I shut it down because I started my job and I just wouldn't have time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've been selling singles on TCG Play for about 3 years actually.
Mhm.
Um, anywhere from Magic,
Mm-hmm.
Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, basically
Pokemon.
everything.
Yeah. Have you?
Just because. Go ahead.
There's been an issue I find. People are gem mint hunting on TCG Player. Do you know what I mean by that? They're buying cards, hoping they're gem mint. They complain that it's not gem mint. Oh, there's a nick, even though the card's pretty much perfect. And then they send it back to TCG Player, and then they get refunded. There's TCG Player always favors them, and it's I hate
it's like,
selling
okay,
on TCG now.
if you don't have like it's weird because like if it's like a $15-$20 card and you send it through an envelope, they can say, oh, it never got here, or it's messed up, and then now it's like, are you going to go through the process of having them, you're going to send them a return label, they're going to send it back, go through that whole process for this $20 card, or just give them a refund and just go about your day, right? So sometimes you don't want to pay the $5 to send it through a bubble mailer, which gives them tracking, but then they can't say it didn't get there, right? Because you have proof.
Yeah.
But then now you're out $5 for shipping. So it's like, it's a fine line. Obviously, when the cards are worth a lot more, it's easier to spend on the shipping. But like when it's that middle ground, $10, $15, and you can't really prove, a lot of people do that, and it's happened countless times. And so a lot of the times I just
kind of fraud, but I've done this before. I've sold a card. It was a pudding. It was worth $180. It went down in price maybe 3 or 4 weeks later. And they said that there was a nick on the card, and the card was just fine. But they sent it back to TCG Player, and it was, there wasn't an issue with shipping or anything like that. But they just said there was like a nick on it. I have the card over here, and it looks great. But now I just, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, I have to sell it for a lot cheaper now. I feel like there's just buyer's remorse, or there actually are gem mint hunting, right? And I think that's ridiculous on TCG Player. You shouldn't be gem mint hunting on TCG Player. Go on Facebook. For that.
Yeah, Facebook, eBay. If you're gonna buy off TCG Player, just do it to use a card competitively, to play with it, not to, or for your collection, just to keep it, not to send it in to grade, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people, they're making money moves, right? Like a lot of people making money moves. I've had people make money off of me. I thought they were using the card. To be honest, I was like, oh shit, I think I should have sold that for more. I didn't know you were gonna buy that and then sell it. So. And so you have to like think about that before you sell cards these days too, like what they're doing with it, if they're going to resell, because if they're going to resell it, you might be able to get more for it, right? If you put in some work, right? So especially if
I'm talking to someone that wants to buy my my 3 winner, or my 3 championship red cards, the Newgate, Marco, and the Jozu, and they also want my winner set of the 6 cards. And they're telling me like, oh, this is for my collection, so hopefully you're not going to sell them to me at market price, this and that. But it's like, I don't know what you're going to do with the cards. They're trying to get on my good side to bring the price down. The cards are worth so much. Like, I can sell these cards on eBay and just take the hit of the fees, but still get more than 75%, 80% market. So it's like, I got to pick and choose, like, how much I'm willing to I guess just be nice. Like, am I going to pretend that they really want that card for their collection, or they're going to sell it, 6 months later at 2x the price or something,
I might have somebody that wants to buy winner cards, by the way. So
yeah, DM me after this. Batsu, what was that?
I was gonna say, like, I found that if someone actually wants it for their collection, they'll ask you like what your price is, right? They're like, I want that. What'll you give me it for? And they're not gonna like sweet talk you,
Yeah,
because they're interested in the card and they have the cash. They're like, well, I've decided at this point it's worth my money. How much can I get it from you for?
Yeah. I would say it's really good to have that specific person. Sometimes it's really funny. Will has basically found somebody who will buy most of the stuff. And Will kind of keeps that close to his heart now, right? He knows he actually has connections now because he keeps on winning these events or doing really well. And so it's almost kind of brought an opportunity where he can kind of like work through himself to sell to this guy because he's a collector. And so those are really hard to find. by the way. I
Mhm.
think those are hard to find because most people are just trying to flip. Who knows if
But,
this guy's
yeah.
flipping cards actually? But we just assume if he's buying so many of these high big cards for big prices, I'm talking,
Mhm.
$7,000 for like a raw Luffy, right? Stuff like that. Then like, I wonder what this guy's collection is. I think he lives in Colorado. Don't doss him, but I
Oh, no.
I
Yeah.
100% want to see this guy's collection. And actually, I think I want to make like a little post asking everybody at some point, like our viewers, if they can make a video and then show us your entire collection. That'd be sick. I would love to go over those. That could be a whole video just going over people's collections, and how
Yeah.
they present them, because that's like half of One Piece right now. It's kind of like, getting a collection going. Do you just have a binder right now, Wraith, or do you actually have a collection podium anywhere?
Yeah, so I have like 5 or 6 binders. I'm trying to collect the master set of every set, but I started in OPO2, so like I'm missing basically all the leaders of OPO1, all the alts on OPO1. So now that I got a job though, I'm definitely gonna start slowly buying them up, even though they're skyrocketing in price. Like I'm gonna eat it up just so I can finish my collection.
Mhm.
But from like 2 to 5, I basically have everything,
Mhm.
except obviously the 4 chase cards of OPO5, the 3 mangas and the signed Luffy. I don't have those. But besides that, I basically have everything.
Mhm.
And then obviously I don't collect the all the championship cards. That's
It's
Hard.
crazy tough.
if I win them, I win them.
That's hard.
Yep,
It's
Yeah,
actually
those are-
really hard. Yeah, I'm glad
not
you
gonna-
actually
yeah.
kept on to your other championship cards. Are worth more now, right? And
Mhm.
did you still have your Shanks?
Yeah, I got the Shanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. What number was that again?
I got like 479 or something like that.
479. Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, nothing. There's no crazy Shanks number yet, right? Not like Luffy. People pulling 420 and 69 the same weekend. So like, that's another thing too. These serial chasing numbers, right? They're actually chasing good numbers, which is ridiculous, right? Who knows what the next serial card's going to be? By the way, we're going to have the Shanks probably the whole year of 2024.
Mhm.
Now
You
that I
guys like
think
the
about it.
Shanks art?
Hate it.
I'm
Hate
not a
it.
huge fan of the Shanks art. I'm like, the Luffy's so good. The Shanks like, eh. I mean, it's a serial card, right? You can't complain, but
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Kaido
So
being the winner
tell
card.
us, how is it?
No, I don't have one. I don't have any
No, Wraith
serials.
has one. Wraith has
have
one.
one.
Yeah.
It's decent, but honestly, for serial cards, I think they could do so much better. They could do so much better. Like
Yeah.
even the Luffy. I mean, the Luffy's cool and it's better than the Shanks, but I feel like they can just do so much better.
You think it's the choice or the actual art?
I mean, they could. It could be personally, I think they could do better on the art and on the foil,
Mm.
because like some like the championship cards I got, like the Marco is insane. That art
Yeah.
is so crazy. The Newgate is so good, right? So I feel like they can just spice up these serial cards a little bit more.
Mhm.
But we can't get everything right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
game's
I guess
pretty good already.
I do want to say,
Yeah.
PO1, they had definitely a lack of art style, just because like a lot of it were screen
We had
grabs.
anime screenshots in OPO1.
Yeah, it was
that
white
rough.
shorts basically. Half of it was just white
Yeah.
shorts. If you've ever seen that card game, like it's just
I
screen grabs.
bought one box of that, and I was like, "What is this? Like,
Yeah,
I'm never buying this again."
It's half screen grabs, right? And so this,
Yeah.
it's kind of a charm to it though. But a lot of the actual good art, right, was there. I don't know. I agree with you there on the Luffy and the Shanks though, especially that there's 4 different versions of this Shanks, right? So just makes it hard. Especially, it's not a very playable card. I think if they could have made this any OPO2 and beyond card with any different art, I think everyone would have been happy, but who knows what the next one's going to be. It's probably going to be something hasn't even been made yet, right, into a card. So yeah, especially, some of these prices of some of these cards I can't believe Nami's gone up this much as well. It's like over 500. They're just NFTs, but they're actually cards, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I traded a first edition Law Alt Art Leader to a friend for like $50 of cards back in the day.
What was the worst in the comments? What was the worst trade you had? If you now knowing how much these cards are worth, right? So
He's a huge Law fan. He still uses the card. Like he's not selling it.
he's
so
not
I'm
selling
okay with
it. Yeah, he just starts coming in. He has full tank of gas. Full tank of gas. What'd you do? Okay, got it. Yeah, I guess I did want to talk about one thing. It's fairly new, is the rank server, right? We didn't really jump too hard into those. It's kind of like the trend right now. We'll talk about it, what the rank server is going to be like before nationals and after nationals. But I don't know if you've seen that new rank server that I think Impact is more promoting. It is kind of insane. There's there's always 20 or more people playing, but like it'll be like off peak hours and there's like 50 people playing, right?
Mhm.
And so it is kind of got to an insane level where there is a ton of people playing. I think it's almost gotten to the point where the MMR system is kind of crazy, because I think how it works is every 15 seconds you'll get paired against somebody who's 50 MMR more, right? But people still, like, they wait like a couple minutes and they get paired against someone who's like 500 elo below them, and they're like, well, they should make it so I can never get paired against someone who's like 500 elo below me, right? So
Yeah.
and it's really weird. I don't think people who are low
You gotta
elo
practice that though.
Well-
the first round of Nats, they're gonna do weird things,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I will say though, if you're low elo right now, like below 1500 like me, right, you just probably haven't played enough games. That's the main thing. And the thing is, elo does not matter, right, when it comes to who's gonna win or lose. Like, I've never like, oh, I'm against a high elo player, I'm for sure gonna lose, right? It just means they've probably won a lot of games, and so they're used to things in the sim. And have you ever lost to anything on the sim? Oh, because the sim did this.
a damn Sam.
Well,
Not reminding me to use leader ability first turn.
well, yeah, there's things like that, or I mean, the game never reminds you, right? But you ever use like what's that one card? Houndblaze. Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, I
what
know.
I'm gonna
I know.
say. You use Houndblaze, you're like, okay, I'm gonna remove that card, and where'd the power go? Why can't I give power to anything? You have to give power
gotta
first.
do it in order.
And then
I
I'm
know.
like,
I know.
oh damn, this sucks. I really.
I wonder
it
if
keeps
you can
getting
shark
me.
that at Nats. Because like if my opponent is a Sakazuki and they go, okay, I'm gonna bottom deck here, and
Yeah.
then I want to play 3000 or plus 3000 here, I'm like, no, you did the order wrong. You bottom deck first. You can't do the plus 3000, right? I need to ask, because like I'm gonna be doing that to my opponents. I want to
Actually,
win. There's so much money.
You're
I know
right.
that-
You have to. It says give up to one of your leaders 3k power, and then place a character.
Trust me,
bottom.
they're in the right order. Okay, it
Mhm.
goes by the rules.
No, you're right on the sim.
Intuitive is
I just
not
don't
a
know if
different
that's
question, yeah.
sharkable.
Right.
Because Anel has that as well. Like for Anel, you have to gain a life first and then trash. If you just trash right away before giving yourself the life, I'm not sure if that's possible, right? Because it's
It's
specifically
an illegal
said-
board state. Yeah, you're not allowed to not use a null effect. So
Okay.
technically, both players are wrong if you allow that to go through.
Yeah.
As a judge,
Well, I just don't know if it's like you're still like just countering out, right? But I guess you can't counter out a card that has no counter. So, yeah, that's a weird. I guess you can't shark that, but you might be able to shark
you've taken
Houndblaze.
your life.
You might
Yeah, I
be able
think
to
you can
shark
shark
Houndblaze.
Houndblaze.
I wonder. I gotta ask a judge. Now I gotta ask a judge, like a official judge. Can you shark Houndblades? Hey, I'll put it at the bottom of the deck. Okay, you didn't get 3k power, bro. You got simmed. Like, I don't know.
Is sharking against the rules? Like intentionally sharking?
No. If you want
I
to be,
don't remember.
if you can,
In some other card games, it is right,
if-
like intentionally sharking.
Yeah, I don't think it is here. If your opponent makes a mistake and you catch it, like, this is a big stakes tournament. Because
you can get a
I will
judge
say,
involved. Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
first tournaments, I'm a really, really nice person. And so my opponent made a huge misplay. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just take it back. That's fine. And I'm playing an online regional. It's my first one ever. And I end up losing the game. And I'm like, why did I let him do that? I'm like, you can't be nice when there's money on the line like that.
Uh-huh.
Do my Kuro run. He didn't swing with like 2 of his Marcos, and he ended a turn, and then he's like, wait, I didn't swing with my board. And I'm like, all right, I'll let you swing with it. And
Yeah.
I shouldn't have, right? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a
I
weird
just
thing.
won Kuro. Like,
I think we've had enough practice to know when that is. I do want to say there are some sharkings I think are ridiculous, like Newgate and Dedan. I don't think those should particularly be sharked because it's kind of already implied. But is Houndblaze implied? I would have to ask a judge, like
No, because it says up to. Like if they don't choose, that's fine. If they bottom deck first.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my brain thinks bottom deck first as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, because you're using Houndblaze
Yeah.
as a removal.
Now, guys,
right? The buff feels secondary.
I don't really think sharking's cool in most effects, but we're just talking about nationals. This is like,
Talking
you know,
about
you're in the finals of the finals.
Yeah.
It might be like a, hey man, you forgot to do something. I know it's round 27 and it's been all day, but you forgot to do something. So GG's, bro. You know,
Yeah. Like, what if it's a game between you and qualifying for Worlds, right? It's like,
Yep.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's not like your opponent's probably not going to make that mistake, you know.
yeah.
But like, it's and if that comes up, guys, 100% just get a judge involved if you're getting sharked. If you're getting sharked,
just
or
to
if you're
confirm
sharking,
everything, always call
it's
a judge.
okay. And I think the main thing is be respectful, and it's kind of hard, you know. I don't know what I would do personally. I kind of like having the game be in its natural state. Oh, that's what they meant to do, obviously, right? But damn. I need to make sure I give
for
free
a winner
power.
Kaido card. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I don't know. I don't think that's what I would do personally. But I don't really knock anyone for doing that this time. So, you know.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Not till it's against you, at least.
Well, it's kind of funny. If I'm against you in the finals, I'm for sure sharking you, Batsu. Heads up, you already know what's coming. You're gonna laugh when it happens too. You're gonna be like, "Oh, dang, yeah."
You got me.
Just kidding. No, the ranked server's just been good. I think after nationals, I don't know if it's just gonna be a place where people just play. You know, I think people are kind of getting addicted to that kind of ranked gameplay. I think it might be a good idea for these ranked queue times should be at a certain time, right? Because it takes up a lot of time for like these admin and mods. They have to like fix these tickets and like, so they declare the game didn't ever existed and things like that. So if it was like, in between the hours of 9 a.m. to 12, right, to midnight or 2 a.m, then it's more manageable for these players, right? And where that's at. I'm just talking after nationals, especially, you know, going into OPO6, OPO7, and then I believe we're having the next nationals. It's going to be like next fall, so it's not next year, which is kind of bizarre. But I mean, we're not even thinking about.
Is it
that
closer
next nationals.
to Japan nationals? Because they've like already had theirs, right?
I have no idea, dude. One thing I think everyone has this wish. We wish that the Japanese game was at the same time as English.
Yeah.
I think it's almost getting further apart. Like they're going to OPO7 soon, and we don't even have OPO6 even on our horizons yet. And like this trial deck, and it's just kind of shitty, to be honest. Like I think we would love to get caught up.
Do you think it's a production issue? Do you think it's like literally they can't print enough English product to catch us up?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'd be making it up if I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but if I was to guess, if I was to make it up, it's probably there by design. To be honest, there's some design that we don't know about, but it's they don't care, right? They just sell the Japanese and then they sell the English, and people buy. It's really weird when they're rarity chasing for Japanese cards, right? Because actually, it's really funny. The Japanese cards aren't worth as much. You think I guess it's never the opposite. English, it's more the demand is higher and the supply is lower in English. So of course it'd be worth more. Plus, it's the rest of the world versus one or maybe two countries if you can't like Singapore area, right? So
yeah, I was gonna say they have all of Asia pretty much. Although China's got their own, right?
Dude, I wonder what Chinese One Piece is right now, dude. What is Korean One Piece?
I want those Nami alts, man. You see those Chinese Nami alts?
No, we have that.
I'm so sad. We're not getting that.
The one with the gold bag?
The pals or whatever.
Oh
yeah, like
the one with the gold bag. It's the one cost from the trial deck, right? That we have that.
No, not that one.
Oh, there's a different one.
Literally in like Chinese dresses, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some good Nami cards.
Good. Yeah, we need some of that. Okay, yeah, more culture. We need different cultures.
More Nami.
We need different
we need
cultures.
At least 20 alts of every Nami card.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's like, Nami fanboy, so every Nami card that comes out.
Is there like
gotta
different?
Buy this one, gotta buy that one.
Is there different art for Korea too? Like, I don't know. I know for
I
other
think-
card games there was maybe was it this card game?
I think it's just a China licensing thing, right?
Okay.
Like I think they just get exclusive stuff and they don't get some of our stuff
It's good.
sometimes.
You know, it's really funny. Japanese players, they'll say how jealous they are about like the the weird I can't remember Joku, right? I think his name, right?
Mhm.
That dentist guy that makes all those alt cards. They think those look super sick, and I think they all do too. You know, you know what's really funny too about this game? We do not like we hate proxies. If I see someone who just playing a proxy in their deck, I'm mad. But if they're a leader's proxy, dude, it's cool. You know, I don't know why. It just hits different. Like the proxy leader just hits different. I don't know if do you play any proxy leaders, Wraith?
I do. I'll show you right now. So I have an Enel. I have the regular Enel,
Uh-huh.
and then this is the
And you got
proxy
the
that I like
manga
to use.
face.
Oh. Yeah.
You do that once you hit one life, you swap it.
Yep. Once I use the effect, I flip it
Nice.
over.
You're kidding.
So I actually got
How
that
you got to
card.
do it.
I
I
actually
got my
should do that for
my buddy
soccer.
got me the card for like a Christmas gift.
Mhm.
So, but he gave it to me like 2 months early. He's like, "Here you go," you know, because he ordered it with his card. I'm like, "Cool." So before Enel even came out, I already had that, and so
Yeah.
it just kind of
You're locked in for Nats. Yeah.
it kind of fell into place. I started playing Enel, I had that, and then it developed like that. But yeah, I definitely have some other proxy leaders for sure.
That's good. Do you use Proxy Dawn too?
Nah.
Okay. I love Proxy Dawn, so that's like
Mhm.
really cool. As
I'm
long
still
as
rocking my
it's still
Super
Dawn.
pre-released on.
Really? Oh god, dude.
Yeah, I love it. I love
I
those things.
hate those, dude. I've thrashed those so bad.
Okay.
But-
No, I've got. I'm trying to remember how many gold Dawn I have. I think I have 6 gold Dawn from
Mhm.
all my regionals, and then
And-
4 super pre-release.
And in 40
running.
winner Dawn, because you just keep winning your locals, right? So
Oh yeah, dude. We've got one guy who got every red winner Dawn. Like every time, like he never wins, but every time he won, he got the Dawn every time. Like and every time he loses, he gets the Dawn. Like that was just the one card he got. It's like, I have every other winner card from all the
Yeah.
sets, and then he's just got all the Dawn. I'm like, and that's what he runs.
Yeah,
is
you
all
know,
the red Dawn.
I had like an insane reaction when those Dawn cards came out. I don't know what you guys' reaction to that was, but I remember seeing like, oh, I didn't know Dawn. They came out with Black Dawn. That's cool. And then I got the Winter Dawn as well, in the same thing because they give you 2 if you won, right? And I'm like, oh shit,
Mhm.
dude, is it in every pack? I'm like, no, you just got really lucky. But that's kind of where the idea for the Loser Dawn, if you've seen those,
Right.
we make sure
Yep.
to hand out more of those.
You're gonna bring like 3,000 of
nationals-
them for Nats,
dude,
right?
I have a whole bunch,
Send them
bro.
to everyone you see.
And yeah, it's kind of a good segue, guys. If you guys see me at nationals and you watch the podcast because you've got this far in this podcast, you can come up to me and get a Loser Dawn. Okay,
right.
just
right.
ask for one. You've seen in this. I have like over 100 ready. I'm ready for you to come up to me and ask for one of those, and I'll make sure to be giving you one, of course, as well, Batsu. It's kind of a funny
I
thing.
appreciate it.
I don't know if
rite
you've
of passage.
if you've seen that, or I had one guy who was mad that he got one of those. Everyone else thought it was like super funny, and I was like, kind of like, okay, make sure he's cool first, make sure
Right,
everything's
right.
okay. Like, seemed like a cool dude, no issues, right? I respectfully gave it to him. Like, wasn't like, ha ha ha, I beat you, right? I told him I was going to give it to him if I lost before the game, win or lose. And then he just was not having it. He thought it was like so bad, but that's the only person. I think he was new to the game.
Okay.
That was
That's
kind
fair.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. And it was like a big event. But everyone else, they like died laughing, and they just like, dude, can I get 2 of these? I need to give this to my friend. So I don't know. It's kind of a
You
side
got to get
story.
one for the waiting queue for Nats, right? Waiting queue, Don.
Waiting queue.
Dude. Yeah, dude. I think you're making money moves here. That's
Yep.
that's a big money move. I think we should get investments in that, Invest Bros. And then do you still have your Loser Dawn somewhere, by the way, Wraith?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
do.
having a certain spot. Okay, good. I
It's
know.
fine.
It's in one of my
Without
deck
a
boxes.
I know you still have to like go through the footage from Pasadena because you did the whole you've recorded everything, but at the same time you're like, I don't even want to go through that because it's so much, right? It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's what it. And also, it's my brother's GoPro. I've never used GoPro, so just having to figure it out, connect it to my computer, grab the footage. I just didn't want to go through that, and then it just
Mhm.
I kept delaying it, and then I just forgot about it.
Uh-huh. And now
But
it's
then-
kind of a weird point, right?
Yeah, I think I'll still dig it up and do something with it. Probably this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me on that, but I have some time this weekend. I don't work weekends, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I bought to. I don't know if you know. I went to Pasadena in November. I had a GoPro strapped to my chest, and so
Nice.
the whole weekend I was
More of
just
that. There's not enough of that in the community. I'm gonna
yeah,
watch it for sure.
yeah. All right, I got you. Yeah, I was just all my interactions. I met Kek. I met so many players. Just people that watch my YouTube and stuff like that. They were coming up to me. Oh, you're awake in TCG, and so just it was fun. I think I'm gonna do that again, but I need to bring more batteries because the GoPro batteries don't last that long. They die so fast.
Yeah, yeah. You get people that walk
But
up
yeah.
to you, they're extra animated because they see a camera too. Or
Yeah.
or I guess the opposite is maybe they get a little extra shy. They're like, oh, I don't even
It was a good mix of both for sure.
Good. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Keck, you got to do your Nat survival guide. I hear you get like one plastic bag or something, and that's all you're allowed to bring in the venue and stuff. Like, I'm
Wait,
sure
you
there's gonna be a
can't?
lot of people. I don't know. That's what I heard. Is like you get like like a sandwich bag or something. But
Like you can only bring in like one little sandwich bag. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll bring a guide. I want to
someone
say
who's never been to an in-person event.
they don't look
give me the
inside your
guide.
binder. Okay, guys, you can bring a hollowed out binder, fill it out with all the awesome drugs you want or food, right? Food's a drug, and then sell it to people in the venue, especially food, because people will definitely buy that. So, but I didn't know about that. I guess I gotta ask. I'm gonna ask more questions to TO because Nat Survival Guide will probably be a big thing. They're just,
We got 2 weeks.
I don't want to buy $6 waters. That's just ridiculous. And they have like the worst fucking fries and hot dogs. And you're going to be like, this California sucks. Like, why is it like this? Can we get like a whole order of Chick-fil-A? So Nat Survival Guide's coming. And I think you're flying down, right? So there's going to be a cheaper way to travel rather than taking an Uber to where you need to go.
I think I'm within walking distance.
Perfect.
Like I got one real close. Back in the Kuro qualifier, I was like, all right, time to buy tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And unless you're all going together, it's an $80 Uber. I would maybe suggest taking like a bus. These they're not buses, they're like trains, right?
Right.
It's gonna cost you like $2.50 each. So that's what I'll have. I'll have that written out again for people and just kind of give them a little reminder of where to go. It's like metro.net. So that's how you'll find out where you need to go. But yeah, I'd love to let you guys both plug away. Wraith, you want to plug anything you want about your channel?
Yeah, so I don't know when you're gonna upload this, but for my channel, I guess I'll announce it. It's almost done. I just need to get some creators or players to do it on my channel. I'm gonna be doing a Jeopardy. So I have this whole game set up. I'm looking for creators. I'm going to be doing a Jeopardy series, all One Piece related. It's going to be, it's probably the biggest thing that I've been working on.
Manga spoilers or just card game?
It's going to be a very small portion. I think only one section we have planned for actual lore, and it's nothing like super crazy spoiler wise, like nothing current. And then the rest of it is just going to be like about the cards, different colors, just stuff like that. So it's going to be real fun. Yeah, besides that, just subscribe to my YouTube channel at Awaken TG. That's about it.
And Batsu?
Yeah, my link tree. I'll have Kek put it in the description. I've got my own personal Discord. I don't check it as much as I should. I'm busy all the time. But yeah, personal Discord. Subscribe to my YouTube just in case I ever upload something. There were plans at one point to upload the Kuro Run, and that's like I don't have time to commentate that whole thing, but at some point maybe you will see content on there. And then follow my Twitter. I post anime waifus.
Got it. Maybe you got to send that content to me and I can commentate over it and upload it. So there you go.
Fair.
With that too, I do want to say with Batsu, he does have a Patreon. Make sure you guys check that out, see what's going on. Maybe throw a little bit of support his way, and he'll be able to, kind of keep doing what he wants to do or needs to do for the community. And I'll definitely have that in the link tree down below. And I do want to do a big shout out to Will to Win Gaming, William Craddock, and that community. As far as this goes, it's been honestly a big hit for 2023 that was really good to have happen, and how I got in touch with Batsu and finally doing a podcast after, you know, so many months now of speculation, and today's the day.
Yep.
So thanks to especially Will. It's kind of a special episode, and you guys can always check me out. If you're here, you're already on my channel. I'm making World of Warcraft content too, and just One Piece content. So just keep an eye on that, especially with Nats going on soon.
I'm adding on to that. The Will to Win coaching is the reason you're seeing me at Nats. It's good.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, we did miss that as a segment. Maybe next time we have
the
you.
Kuro Run was coached.
It'll be great.
I got the coaching to do the run, but we didn't break it down.
It was you. We didn't break it down, but it was you. But I'm glad you gave us at least a little bit of respect for that. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with all your friends so they can also listen to this. See you all in the next one. Ciao.